You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. My, the Chicago Sky. You know, the Chicago Sky played a back and forth game against Las Vegas Aces, lost by two. But man, oh man, did they put an effort behind it and really shine. And then you got to go to Angel Reese, 22 rebounds, 22 rebounds. Outstanding performance. I always tell you, Camila Cardosa, uh, big post player sitting right there, is the one to take the Sky to the next level and take them to where they want to go. Kennedy Carter, outstanding, nailed the three-pointer. The Chicago Sky, and I'm telling you this to let you know, the Chicago Sky are a very, very interesting basketball team and how they go about it. But I always look at it, there was this tremendous boiling point tension in the locker room. However, you got to find out who responded from that and who showed up. And if you look at it, I'll tell you right from the bat, Angel Reese, 22 rebounds. Okay, not so much the 22 rebounds as how she did it, but the consistency of what she's doing. Now, when you take 3 consecutive games of 20-plus rebounds, I'll tell you that's activity. 12 on the defensive end, going to hit it 10 on the offensive side. Shot at 4 of 16 from the field, 37 minutes, finished up with a +4. Okay, you got Kennedy Carter, 9 of 20. Okay, 25 points. Okay, really hit the big-time game shot down deep in the fourth quarter. Okay, so it's all been a myth. And then you got Cardosa lighting it up, 5 block shots. You know what? Put a tame on Angel Wilson. Let her know you're not the only big that's running around on the court today. And if you come my way, I'll shut it down. Now, Camila Cardosa, you know what? You got to just place that in correctness. And I'll tell you what I mean by placing it in correctness. Anytime you get a post player that can be a rim protector, every time I watch Camila Cardosa play, I'm starting to see more and more coming out of a player that hasn't been shown and the aggressiveness that she can play. Now, she's coming out of South Carolina. She's a Gamecock, and I'll give Don Staley this. I mean, as a horse trainer, Don Staley's a really good horse trainer. And that's what I call the coaches because they got to train the horses to get them ready to go. Now, when you talk about that and you talk about the Seattle Sky and what happened in that ball game, you know what? They shut it down. And here's the difference. Okay, you made a choice, and I said you got to pick one. You can't run all these guards, so she ran Allen for 34 minutes, went 7 of 12, 1 of 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, gave you 5 assists, 3 turnovers, came out a +3 and added 16 points. Kennedy Carter has to do her role, play 30 minutes, take the toughest defensive assignment every night, 9 of 20, and finished with 25 points. Angel Reese, 22 rebounds. Now, here's the deal. Bantam, you got to get going. I'll tell you this. You go out and get a shooter, but the shooter's got to knock down shots, okay? And if she's not knocking down the shots, you know what? We got to reconsider that because that's what we got you for. That was the trade. That's what got you back here. You got to knock down the shots, and you got to do it well. Now, you had Coach Witherspoon, and they had a little locker room combustion the other night. I mean, it was just real intensity going on in the Chicago Sky locker room. But I look at it to see who responded from that. Okay, who responded from that type of communication and what was going on in that Chicago Sky locker room. I'll tell you who responded, Angel Reese. Angel Reese checked out and then all of a sudden checked back in, 22 rebounds. Now, here's the deal with that. I know what's going on around the market and looking at WNBA basketball, that those are all her misses, and she's getting the misses and putting them back up, and so she's getting the rebounds. I don't care how you do it, 20 is still 20. Okay, 20 is still 20 in my book. It's tough to do. Now, here's the deal. Here's what it gives you. It gives the Chicago coaches a baseline. Okay, they got to have a baseline to work with, and that's what they have now. And when you look at the Chicago Sky coaches, let's just back it up and talk about them, okay? Because you got Witherspoon's running it at the top, but Sidney Johnson's got a lot on his plate, okay, because that's the voice of communication. She brought him in, okay, to be able to get the execution. He's coming Ivy League style. He's been around the game. You got Crystal Robinson coming in there. She's been around, played the game. You got Tamara Ty Young. This is the big responsibility here because Angel Reese gives you a baseline, okay? And then you go all the way down. We're going to get past the trainers. We get the director of player development, Ashley Frazier, okay? Now, here's the deal. When you get a player that can get you 20 rebounds a game, and I'm talking about Angel Reese, okay? Angel Reese can hit that and get you 20 rebounds a night, okay? Now, I'm not talking about she's going to do it every night, but here's what you got. You got a baseline. You got something you can work with that you can build from. So what does that tell me? I know I got a player here who can get me 15 rebounds a night. Now, here you go. You got Witherspoon's got to coach the team, but let me tell you how it all got to come together. You got video coordinators. You got scouting, those assistant coaches. One take offense, one take defense. How we going to execute it? And we put a game plan in, right? So now you got to get the player to do it and do it consistently. Now, Kennedy Carter bounced back, hit it, but Angel Reese bounced back, and here's the deal with Angel Reese. Okay, Angel Reese has got the Barbie doll. I'm not sure what it is, but let me back up and kind of share it with you. She's going to play Clark, and they got the Barbie doll night. Okay, Angel Reese shows up on big games, big nights, sometimes fades out, doesn't really be consistent. But the coaches have had enough. Okay, the coaches have had enough with the guard play. Okay, and when you have enough with something, you make a change, and this is what Coach Witherspoon and coaches did. They just said, hey, you know what? We're going to change up the guard play, so we're going to put Harrison, you got 3 minutes. Okay, Bantam, you better step it up, or you're going to lose some minutes there. Jefferson got 6 minutes. The Shields and Evans, okay, really right there, they went to the bench, -1 and -7. You got Evans. Here's the deal. It's always got to be about the agents. You got Evans' agent calling saying, wait a minute, you're benching my player. Well, here's the deal. She's not playing good, okay? And you can't run this many guards. I mean, that doesn't mean we won't come back around to you. But you got to get with our program and not your program. So if you're not with our program and you're turning the ball over, taking shots and thinking it's about you, we got a spot for you, okay? And the coaches got to meet. I mean, let's not get this confused, folks. These coaches, when I show you the directory and I show you Sidney Johnson, I show you all these guys, they got to meet, chop it up, and got to figure out who's the best one that's going to be able to win the game. Now, when you get down to winning the game, who's going to do it our way? Okay, we don't need to argue about this. We have went back and forth. We have pleaded, bagged, and now we have no more patience, okay? But you get to Kennedy Carter, and Kennedy Carter's always doing what Kennedy Carter does. Gets out there on the defensive end. Now, when you get a player like Kennedy Carter, I'll tell you this, and I'll tell it to you in a very delicate way. Doesn't mean she's going to be the easiest player to coach because she's fiery on the court, okay? Very fiery on the court, and also fiery intensity in the locker room, okay? And also fiery intensity in her communication. So it's do you take the good with the bad? Yes, you do. And here's why. Because you got a player that's going to stand up and is going to compete. Now, when you look at the competition, is it overbearing at times? Yes. Do things happen she doesn't control? Absolutely. Is Carmilla Cardoso what the actual Chicago Sky need to be successful? Yes. Because that's the first player in the WNBA stepped right to Asia Wilson, okay, and really shut her down, okay? And you got to go back and understand what I mean by shutting a player down, folks. This don't get no better for me than right in here when you get a player and you're playing. And let me tell you what happened in that game and how it all went together. Is you got coming out of there, Angel Wilson took 28 shots in 33 minutes, okay? 18 rebounds, 2 assists. 20 points was -9. Couldn't even keep pace with the game. Blamed it on the officials. Okay, blamed it on the officials. Officials had nothing to do with it. Okay, so you got a situation where she's frustrated. She's speaking her mind. She's letting everybody know this is what it is, but it's not working out. Okay, that's the case in point. The rest of the starters were in the plus. She kind of went her way, and it didn't work so well. Okay. But when you get back to it, you look at the Chicago Sky. My, the Chicago Sky. Now, somebody told me the Chicago Sky couldn't shoot three-pointers. That's a myth, folks. That's a myth all day, every day. They told us the Chicago Sky can't shoot the ball. That's a myth. Okay, when you get the rotation tight, I mean tight, and when Witherspoon really tightened it up, you go with Allen for 34 minutes, you go with Carter for 30. There ain't no more space and room on the floor for guards. These are the two. The only dynamic that has to really switch itself out is the last 5 minutes. Allen needs to go to the two-guard spot. You let Carter run the point. You got a scorer, but you also got a person that can dribble, drive, penetration, give a kick inside. We got to score. Now, I'll get back to Angel Reese, and I'll tell it to you like nobody's told it to you before. Angel Reese, you know what, can play this game of basketball, but Angel Reese needs discipline in going into the playoffs. So let me tell you what I mean. You can cure this, okay, the coach is Sidney Johnson. You can cure this easily, okay? And I'm gonna share because I'm not gonna let it get beat down to the ground. Where Angel Reese is beat down the ground, can't make a shot, can't make a layup. Okay, I'm gonna repeat. You got Witherspoon's got the lead, but that's not really her job to go down to Angel Reese. That gets down to director Ashley Frazier. Ashley Frazier's got to be player development, knows how to do it, and they got to put the curtain down on this one, and let me tell you why. You got to get Angel Reese to come an hour before practice and stay an hour after practice. You'll cure this in a heartbeat, and let me tell you why. Angel Reese can shoot the ball. I can tell you another thing that I know about Angel Reese. Angel Reese can dribble the basketball, okay? So you got these assistant coaches, Johnson, Robinson, Young, and Frazier. Okay, you got to correct that hour before and an hour after. Okay, and here's why. Because Angel Reese will be so sick of being in practice an hour before and an hour after. She ain't going to miss no more layups and ain't going to miss no more putbacks, okay? I get it, not as strong with the right hand, but you got a baseline. Player can get you 22, 3 games, 20-plus rebounds. That's a player can get you 15 a night, folks. 15 rebounds a night. Okay, when you talk about the 15 rebounds a night, you win games by doing that, and there ain't no doubt about it. And that's about as easy as the pie. You can't slice it up no better than that. You just got to take the pie, and you got to roll with the pie. Because at the end of the day, the pie is what gets you to what you want to be. Now, when you
Carter for three. That's a lot.
And how the game played itself out and how everything shakes itself up, you got to know one thing, that this game is going to be played the right way, and the Chicago Sky got a chance to win some games if they choose to do that. Now, what does that mean? That means you got to put it all in perspective, because at the end of the day, as I look and search here, as I look this down, folks, you got something that's going to be in your pace, and you got to win. And when you get a chance to win, there ain't no doubt about it. Winning comes at a price, and you got to just pay the price, because you can see right here, the Chicago Sky are doing what they normally do. But when you get a player that comes out here and you say, okay, my, this is what they're doing. You got Allen dropping buckets, okay? You got him dropping buckets, and you got him dropping buckets 44 seconds to go, and this game is going right down to where it's supposed to be. You got the player, Trinity Carter's just playing her tail off and playing it at a high level, okay? These buckets here, and you go down to this one right here, and folks, this is game time money. All right, so when you get something like that kicking you in and you got a chance to play, this is what I noticed about the Chicago Sky. Great spacing down the middle. Great spacing. Able to take care of unaware, 3 and D, knocking it down. Now, you talk about the Chicago Sky and what did they do and how did they do it. They had a chance to win the game. I mean, let's face it, Trinity Carter knocked down big buckets. Now, when they had a chance to win the game, you got to understand that just means you had a chance to win the game. You really couldn't win the game, and here's the reason why. And this one kind of bugs me. If you look at the defensive alignment here, okay, now you're going for the game, right? You're going for the game. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We're powered up by fanatics, and we just want to bring it to you the best way that we can. And just let you know, we're trying to win the game right here is really what we're trying to do, and we're trying to win it in a fashion that makes sense to everybody, right? So you got an alignment of defense. I have nobody's protecting the basket here. So what does that give you? That just gives you open lane. There's nobody protecting the basket. That's a weird spot to be because normally you're going to have your big cut off. You see Kennedy Carter's already caught, right? She's caught up on the screen, and there's really not a whole lot you could do here, folks. And I'm really just bringing this back. The crowd loves it. But you can see already the player's caught on the screen. Kennedy's above. I have no idea how nobody is protecting the basket with a triangle. So you win games and lose games, but you can look at them. How did we win it? How did we lose it? I can tell you how you lost it easier than I can tell you how you won it. But when you get to this stage and you look at this play and how this play develops, now, it's a smart play coming off by the Aces, Becky Hammond, Greg Popovich, been with the Spurs. That's going to happen. Okay, they're going to curl Martin around, and then they're going to go ahead and do the moving screen, if they want to call it. You got to lead a trail in a C. The C is not watching her area. I'm looking at it right now. The C is watching high and not missing the illegal pick. So that's going to happen, but we're not going to count that as losing the game. There's just nobody protecting the basket. So when you come off of this action right away, okay, you got the guards has got to switch off. Angel Reese is just getting manhandled out of the play. Kennedy Carter's got to drop in. Should have had a triangle to protect your basket. I don't know what we're doing here above the three-point line because the play's going and you're out of it. So, guarding somebody out there, good luck, but you did it that night. Now, if we continue down this path, this is what gets really interesting here on the play itself, because the play right there, you can see, okay, there it is. Now, you got Angel Reese got blocked. You got Kennedy Carter's got backside, and you're trying to slam in there with the guard to get over, and it just didn't work. That one there is the toughest play, and I haven't seen that in a while. And what happened? Angel put the bucket up, and she scored. So it is what it is. The Chicago Sky lost that ball game. There ain't no doubt about it. You lost the ball game. It's just how you did it and how you executed and how you looked at it on the defensive end. Now, did they run it correctly? No. Did they get it to where it needed to be? No. Okay, should they been in that position? No. Okay, should they protect the basket with a triangle, make sure we got the protection of the basket in case they throw it over the top? Is it an excellent pass? You put Carmilla Cardosa right on there on the ball. Okay, so you really don't have your rim protector in there. And so it ended up being what it is. And that's how they lost the ball game. It wasn't really pretty or anything like that. It was just confusion, but it happened. Now, getting back to what I'm saying, this is where I'm going to take you, folks, and I'm going to stick with this because I don't really go down to players and pick on players. I have to go to coaches. Witherspoon, you got the coach of Sidney Johnson. I know your frustrations boil, but, man, you got to hang in there, and you got to go with the lineup you have. Crystal Robinson, Tamara Young, you've been around this game, played in the WNBA. You know the game. You played this thing. You know how it goes, and you're good coaches. Okay, now when you get down to player development, Ashley Frazier, your hours just got doubled. Because somebody's got to get in there and work with Angel Reese hour before and an hour afterwards. And that is extremely important to get this thing turned around if they're going to go. Now, they're building up in Angel Reese, man. I will always tell you, Angel Reese is never going to pass up on a marketing opportunity. So they're going to play the Indiana Fever, and it's going to be Barbie Doll Night Angel Reese is what it's going to be. And I'm going to tell you, Reese's Pieces, whatever you say it, however you say it, folks, I'll just keep it 100 with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you what it is, and flat out, I'll tell you. You know what? You get a player getting 20 rebounds 3 straight times, that's baseline. That means she could do it again and again and again. And if she could do it again and again and again, let her do it. But you got to let her do it in the sequence, and you got to be putting those shots back in. I'm going to tell you this. I saw her bring the ball up the court. She's got low handles, good dribble. She can dribble the basketball. I've seen her shoot from 15, 18 feet. She can do that. She's got to join the party. Now, here's the party I'm going to talk to you about before I close. You got the Sky, okay, the worst shooting team in the WNBA. I don't believe that. They need confidence. 7 of 15, 46% from the three-point line. You got Onion Ware, knocked down 3 for 5. You got Allen 1 for 3 and Carter 3 for 4. Here's the deal.
I'm going to tell you this. There ain't nothing worse than not getting up that three-point shot when you can make it and win the game, and that's what you got. Now, here's a big concerning for me is the zeros on the steal side. Nobody getting any steals. I don't even know how you play a game and you'll get one steal. And the only steal that came from the Sky is Jefferson. Okay, got one steal, guys. And that puts me back to the staff directory. Sydney Johnson, Crystal Robinson, Tamara, Ty Young, Ashley Favor. We got one assist. One assist. That's what I would be going there as Coach Witherspoon. That means we're not in defensive principles. That means we don't have active hands. And that means we're not following the fundamentals because you should, every team, come out with at least 3 to 6 steals a game. Now you flip the side of what happened to them. They got the ball stolen 6 times by the Aces. Aces aren't playing well, but they played well enough to get a win. Okay, it doesn't matter. Win's a win. And then when you get Angel Wilson MVP complaining about officials, listen, you've been dominating this thing. Now all of a sudden you're going to drop down. It's the officials' fault. No, it's not. You just, you know what? I don't buy that. I think that you ran into Carmilla Cardoso. She shut you down. You talked about being a grown woman, and a grown woman met another grown woman. Okay, that happens in professional sports. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. I leave you with this. Angel Reese, 20 rebounds, 3+ straight games. That's money in the bank. Okay, Carmilla Cardoso, 5 blocks and shut down Angel Wilson, made her shoot 28 times out of frustration. That's money in the bank. Trinity Carter knocked down threes. You know what? That's money in the bank. High toxic intensity, active player, but she's money in the bank. You got Allen, you're holding down the job for now. You got Dana Evans' agent saying, where's my guard's minutes? Okay, none of that doesn't matter, Allen, until you lose control. Okay, this is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. That is the Chicago Sky. My. They're chomping at the bit, and they dropped 2 games by less. 2 points each game. That was a tough one. They got to rebound and step it in and step it up. And I'll tell you this, you take Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky, you get her in their player development an hour before the game and an hour after the game. That's a requirement, okay? Because at the end of the day, you got a baseline of 15 rebounds and you got somebody get you 15 points a night. Easy. She can easily score double figures. I mean, she can get 25 points, 25 rebounds. That may be coming. We must wait and see. But I do know this. The Chicago Sky, you're a lot better than you're letting out. And if they follow the game plan and you get the rotation right, Sky should win some games down this stretch. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. We're powered up by fanatics. We believe that everyone will get better and better. We'll go higher and higher, and all things are possible to those who believe. We'll see you soon.